What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. I am Giulio, joined by Francis. Francis, how you doing?
Hi, good, yeah.
Rocking that turquoise Oops tee.
You call this turquoise?
Is it not?
That would be, you're right, that's turquoise.
I think, I'm always wrong about shades of color, so I could easily be wrong.
You're right. This is the color of the Caribbean water, and that's turquoise.
We'll bring some merch back one of these days.
Hell yeah.
Maybe for the summer months.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure it out. But dude, how you doing?
Yes, I'm well. I am doing well, friendo.
So dude, I have something that I wanted to mention to you.
Good.
That is funny. So we have a king bed in the apartment, right?
Oh, yes.
Which is a big upgrade because she had a full bed in her last apartment.
Not good.
So dude, literally like I'm going to fall off the bed no matter, even if I'm in the middle of the bed, I'm going to fall off the bed in that bed,
good.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a queen uptown where I used to live, and that was also potentially too small for us, given that I thrash in the night.
Yes.
But dude, now that we have a king bed, I can't find her. In the middle of the night, I roll over and I like reach for her and she's not there.
You'll come to love that though.
It makes me feel like we've grown apart, even though we definitely haven't. But like we physically are apart in the bed, and like I can't feel it when she gets up. Sometimes I'll like look over and I'm not sure if she's even there. It's a weird thing.
You're speaking dirty to me. I don't even know she's there. I can't feel it. This is what I love, my friend. I long for that. I've been doing this thing. First of all, we put body pillows in between us.
Oh, that's funny.
And create a ridge line
Divider.
That,
the DMZ.
Yes, the demilitarized zone. Well said. Yes, we create our separate spots. And then what I do is I take the comforter and I tuck it under the pillow so that if she pulls on the comforter, it doesn't pull across my body.
Oh, wow.
It's sort of taut there, and she's got her slack that allows for, if she moves the comforter, it doesn't move across my body, which would wake me up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a crazy system. You're a light sleeper, right?
The lightest.
Sort of famously.
The lightest of sleepers.
Francis is a famously light sleeper.
That's Kojai at the door.
Yeah, I was wondering. Something's bashing
He's
at the door.
bashing his head into the door.
Kojai's attempting to infiltrate the Oops fort.
Doesn't like to be left out. We have a lot of things going when we sleep. We have a noisemaker.
Yes.
That was meant for babies, but we found to be the best one on the market. And then we have an air purifier.
Oh, nice.
And then we also have a fan.
Interesting.
When I wake up in the mornings, I mean, it's loud. You turn all of it off and you're like, oh my God.
Do you get in street noise where your bedrooms?
No.
That's really lucky.
Our bed is, well, it wouldn't matter because of how many things we have going.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a wind tunnel.
Yeah. But it's nice. You
Yes.
curate that, which is nice. One thing that we are not used to is we have like a corner unit, which is great. And we're high up, as you guys know, 14th floor. I had thought that 14th floor would be high enough that we wouldn't hear the hustle and bustle.
Mm-mm.
We hear the hustle and bustle.
Yeah. Well, it's all about how the windows.
Yeah.
In New York, you got to have those double pane windows.
We're thinking about soundproofing the apartment.
Do you have
Not
the
the
ability
apartment.
to do that?
So we'd have to talk to the person. So we're renting from an owner, so we would have to talk to him. But I mean, it increases the value of
Sure
of
does.
the unit. So like, but dude, like in the middle of the night where we are, I mean, the garbage truck thing where like they pick up the thing and it just goes. It sounds like Godzilla has entered New York City.
Weapons testing.
I'm like, what the
Alabama.
fuck is that? We're just kind of, and even just like trucks driving over like gaps that are in the road, and you hear the car go bash. That, not to mention, we can just hear crazy people screaming throughout the night. We just hear, ah!
Yeah, totally.
And like sometimes we'll look over at each other and we'll be like, "Is this a problem? Like, are we going to get used to this?"
Right.
And I think we will, but we certainly are thinking about what we can maybe do to try to alleviate some of the noise.
It's tricky. Well, you should definitely get one of these noisemakers.
Yeah.
Sleeping with some ambient noise really does provide a blanket of, it just blends everything together.
We've started experimenting, and I think we're going to stick to
You
it.
should get the one that we have.
What's it called?
I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
Okay.
I don't
I'll
want
ask
to give
you
free
after.
ads. I'll just show you after.
Okay.
Yeah, but it has changed the game for us. I can't sleep without it.
It's crazy.
So when I go on the road, even to hotels, I bring it with me.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, dude, I have a good email that I want to.
Yeah, buddy. Show us some emails. It's time for emails. Bow, bow, bow. You guys know emails?
So, dude, Francis and I spoke about this yesterday. I actually called him because I thought that this would be a cool idea. So we're gonna read this email and then we're gonna tell you what we came up with.
Mhm.
So this is called Hookups and Dating. Dear Francis and Giulio, I need advice. I'm 22 and just started having sex within the last year.
Whoa, welcome.
I grew up very insecure, couldn't talk to guys, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, had a huge glow up, now have double D's, and have to say I'm fairly attractive. Confidence is no longer an issue.
Wow.
But I've found that dating is super frustrating. All the guys I've met are only into hookups, and I don't move that fast. They assume that by my looks I'm a whore or something, I don't know. But my ideal situation is dating for a few months because it just takes me a long time to feel comfortable around a guy. The 3 times I've had sex within the last year have all been with different guys, and I rushed into things way faster than I wanted. I basically just did it because I felt expected to hook up by a certain date, second, third, fourth, whatever. Each experience was horrific, painful, and each of them were douchebags. For example, one guy was not listening to me at all when I was trying to tell him to take it easy, and he goes, "You're fine." Not good.
What?
Needless to say, I stopped talking to each of them afterward because I had never felt so pressured and uncomfortable. I could tell they really weren't mature at all and didn't want something long-term, which is something that I've always wanted. I made it clear that that's what I've been looking for. So, couple questions. Do you think there are guys who are willing to wait a few months to hook up with girls in this day and age? Part of me wants to wait till marriage at this point because I'd like to think whoever I end up with will love me for my soul, not just my body. Whatever. You both seem very mature in serious relationships. Looking back, if your girlfriends had told you they didn't want to have sex for a few months or until marriage, would you have stopped seeing them? How long did you wait to hook up? And what is the actual age you think guys are looking for something serious? I've gone out with guys 26, 28, and they're still children. So I'm lost and losing hope fast. Do you think I'm being too hopeful and going to end up a single prude loser? Thanks for reading. Hope to hear from you soon.
Oh, man.
So I guess we can answer these questions and then maybe sort of get into the idea that we had.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So I can jump in
Go
here.
ahead. Yeah.
My girlfriend made me wait a bit. Like, I wouldn't say it was, till marriage or 6 months or anything, but I waited a multiple, we hung out a handful of times at the very least before I even came close to kind of getting any quote unquote action. And I was fine with that. I don't, if you really
and if this is too personal, by all means don't answer it, but were you increasing the action that you were getting gradually?
Not really.
Oh.
It was sort of like nothing until it was something kind of thing.
Okay. So it was like she was stiff arming, running into a brick wall, and then one day you cracked the code.
Yes. And I've talked about this. I talked about it like in depth on Girls Gotta Eat because they really like asked me a shit ton of questions about my relationship. But essentially, yeah, like she put me on her kind of schedule that she was comfortable with. And I think if a guy likes you, he'll be willing to sort of wait. Granted, I was in a position where I was looking to be in a relationship, I think, and I was fine with all that stuff. I get it if you're like young and you don't want to do that, whatever, that's fine. But that's part of the kind of sifting process that you'll have to go to if you want to be in a serious relationship. Now, I don't think that you should wait till marriage arbitrarily. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason you can't date a guy for a few months. Then when you feel comfortable, go to that next step. There's no reason to be like, all right, that's it. I'm frustrated. It's wait till marriage. You know what I mean?
Right.
How do you feel about this kind of thing?
Man, I mean, all right. I think things have changed a lot. And maybe what I'm about to say is a naive, idealistic take on on sex, but my thought is that as people, as women have, are women should no longer be afraid that by having sex that they are somehow giving away some kind of precious, secretive, personal thing.
Agreed.
I think that women can dominate or own the bedroom just as much for their own, happiness and self-definition as men. And And I really do believe that. When I was single, there were a number of women that I hooked up with who were using me. Just straight up, like, it was very clear that they wanted nothing
Right.
to do with me beyond sex.
That's funny.
And
also, I've dated people that I've slept with on the first time.
Totally.
So I think that is sort of like, anybody who holds that against you is like archaic and insecure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so in saying that, I think that our young lady friend here, 22 years old, first of all, that's a really tough age, especially if you're just becoming sexually explorative and kind of trying to navigate, that. I think the only way to really get over the hurdle and the confusion of sex is to get into a relationship where you can kind of check boxes together with somebody that you're comfortable with at that age. And that is an important step, because hopefully you'll emerge from that. I mean, maybe that'll be the person for you, but most likely not. And hopefully you'll emerge from that with a much better sense of what you want and what you like in sex, as well as what you don't like and how to communicate that and how to avoid the types of guys that are going to say, like, tough it out.
Right.
That's insane.
He's just kind of pushing fucking.
That's insane.
It sounds very unpleasant.
My initial suggestion to her was going to be that she should date older guys.
Yes.
But she said that she's dated some 27 and 28-year-olds and it didn't really work out.
That's not to say that it won't work out if she continues trying.
I think
that she's on to something with the older guy thing, like you said.
Maybe this is too old, but like 30 was the age, I don't know, maybe a little earlier for me, but like where, if I had met somebody that I really liked and they were like, I want to wait 2 months and see, or whatever it was, like I would have been much more open to that than I was at 22 or 23, where you just want to run around like crazy and sort of, so you're anybody who's willing, like let's get in bed together, whatever. Right. Patience comes with age, and I don't know, man. I feel bad for this young lady, but I also think that this is something that a lot of people go through, and she's gonna find somebody who she can enjoy having sex with, and she shouldn't give up. She certainly should not, as you said, say like, fuck it, I'm just going to wait till marriage, because the problem with that is you have no idea if the person you end up marrying is going to be any better at sex than these 22-year-old morons.
Why add this really important element to the relationship that late in the game?
Yeah.
It just seems kind of impractical in today's world.
And I do think that married couples who have waited until they were married to have sex for the first time figure each other out, and
they get married really fucking young.
Yeah, and I guess you don't know what you don't have, right? You don't know that there were probably 64 sexual experiences that you missed out on that were way better than the person you're married to.
Right.
In which case, ignorance is bliss. But yeah, dude, I look, it's funny. I don't know, man.
Listen. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's kind of my take on it. I would say, like, don't give up. Find somebody that is willing to sort of be gentle and communicative, and someone you trust, and just sort of like navigate a lot of those feelings and experiences and sensations together.
Right.
You've
sort of been in the process of vetting guys now. 3 negative sexual experiences isn't a lifetime's worth of bad sexual experiences.
No.
You have wonderful sexual experiences on the horizon.
Sure do.
Just go out there, show off those double D's of yours.
That's right.
And go have fun.
She may have found, based on these 3 guys, that she doesn't like to have her earlobes kissed or something, or nibbled on, right? But that doesn't
trial and
mean
error.
That she doesn't like having her earlobes nibbled. They just might have been really saw-toothed men who were nibbling with fang type.
Long tooth nibblers.
Yeah, they were just nibbling too hard. You know, these are snapper turtles, whereas she needed more of like a gentle collie to sort of like lick the peanut butter off of her earlobes. You don't know.
You don't know.
I don't want her to write off anything based on those 3 shitty sexual experiences. I feel bad, but as you said, there's a world out there that's better.
Francis, I am here holding the novelty ass plate,
So am I.
which I have to say is a hilarious but also lovely addition to any sort of summer cookout activity.
This will raise some eyebrows and some pants.
It's just funny because it actually can lead you through the entirety of the party. You start off with the chips and the salsa, and then at some point you just pull it out, expose the hole, and pour some tequila in it and shoot it like a champ.
Nobody sees that coming. The old open bee hole for the shot.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this.
Yeah,
It's,
courtesy of our pals over at Don't Half Ass Anything. This is, to me, their coup de grace. It is their signature product. They are a couple guys who are a lifestyle brand. They are basically encouraging everyone to live life to the fullest. They are adventurers, mountaineers, rock climbers. They're summiting Half Dome in Yosemite, and they blog about it and they cover it all on their website, don'thalfassanything.com. But they also have terrific performance wear.
They have a great logo. I really like their clothes and their hats. I think we've worn some of them on past episodes. It's really cool stuff. Very versatile as far as all the different sort of angles that these guys cover in their lives. So go check them out.
Yeah, we're huge fans of theirs. You can check them out at don'thalfassanything.com or their Instagram, don'thalfassanything. And also, if you go to their website right now and use promo code OOPS15, you will get 15% off either the ass plate for yourself, little holder for your guac or your salsa, back for your chips, and any of the performance wear that they have on there that you like as well. So go there now. Oops15, 15% off. Don't half-ass anything.
This is what we've come up with. We would like to set this young woman up on a blind date.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find one of our listeners. If you feel like you fit the profile of this good guy, whatever it is that she's describing, if you think you're this guy, send us an email, oopsapodcast@gmail.com, blind date in the subject line. We are going to try to match her up with somebody that we think fits the bill of somebody that would be a good match for her.
That's right.
And then we're going to kind of take it from there. She's located in the Burlington, Vermont area.
Wow, that's a nice area.
If you're somewhere around that area or you think you can be or whatever, let's try to make this happen.
Yeah, take a walk over some covered bridges.
Totally.
Do a maple syrup tasting together.
Absolutely. Listen, we have it's a
Whitewater
lovely town.
rafting.
Have you done Vermont Comedy Club?
No, but I've wanted
It's
to.
really, I think you'll like it. I'm sure you'll do it.
I would like to. They just haven't booked me.
Well, I opened for somebody, so
Must be
let
nice.
me not start acting like. However, this is a really fun thing. We feel like we have a really nice community here, and we have a lot of really nice guys who email us all the time. And I like to think that the right match is somewhere listening in a parallel universe to this exact episode, and they'll hit us up, and maybe we can find you love. And if this were to go well, this could be a fun thing that we can.
Yeah, it would. It
maybe
would
every
be.
once in a while or
I just
whatever.
hope that, God, what if we give her a guy who just sucks at nibbling ears? I really wouldn't want to be the fourth bad, guy that she has to once again sort of pick up the pieces from.
Well, anyway, email us. If you're a nice soft nibbler, or if you think you got what it takes to make our friend here happy.
Yeah.
Let's find some people some love.
You need
and
to
happiness.
know that you're nibbling the way that you would test a very hot pepper. You're like, I'm worried about this. Let's give it a little. That's the gentleness with which you should approach her earlobes.
Oh
Be
God.
prepared for that. All right, I got something for you.
Okay.
So, okay, this is interesting to me. Francis, I need some hosting and hospitality advice. My wife and I live in a pretty rural village in Rwanda, East Africa.
Oh wow.
Giulio's backyard.
Love it.
Our neighbors live in mud houses. I bring this up to mention supplies of any kind are hard to come by. This week, we are hosting my in-laws, visiting from America. My mother-in-law is very particular, and we often find ourselves accommodating for and planning around her. My wife is insistent that we give my mother-in-law and father-in-law 3 pillows each, 6 total. This leaves us with no pillows to sleep with for an entire week. My position is 2 pillows per guest is standard, which would leave us with 2 extra pillows, 1 for my wife and 1 for me. I feel like a speed bump just laying flat in the bed with no pillows for support. Lots to unpack here, but hoping you will address.
Okay, so can I weigh in here first?
Please.
Okay, well, dude, Rwanda isn't that big of a country. I know we talked about Rwanda on last week's episodes. Why can't you just put them up in Kigali, which is the major city there? There's like really nice hotels. I don't know if that's like not in the budget. I imagine if they're traveling to Rwanda, the ticket isn't cheap to get there. I imagine that maybe they're procuring some money to make this visit. There's really nice Airbnb options. If you need a recommendation, let me know. I stayed at a really dope Airbnb there. It doesn't seem like they need to just be in the village with you. I don't know how long the stay is for, but
a week.
It seems ridiculous to give your in-laws all your pillows.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What? Nobody should be relegated to sleeping on a flat surface with no neck support. For your mother-in-law and father-in-law to have 3 pillows each. That's crazy. I completely agree with Jake here. 2 pillows each is absolutely adequate.
Yeah.
They're coming to Rwanda. They're visiting you. They know that they're not getting, Amanyara accommodations.
Absolutely.
This is not going to be Tempur-Pedic, Bridgestone, airport, whatever.
Ritz-Carlton situation.
The Smarter Image store at the mall. You're not testing pillows. You get what you get.
Put them up at the Radisson Blu in Kigali.
Worst case, throw a couple ponchos into a pillowcase and let them use that as a pillow. This is crazy. I don't even know. I'm mad about that one.
Well, dude, now let me throw a quick plug in. By the time you guys are listening to this episode, most of my kind of Rwanda footage will start to be kind of floating out onto the internet. So check some of that stuff out. I had a really good time over there with some comedians, and I'm excited about it.
Hell yeah. All right, I got another one for you. Cool. Let me just read this really quick because this is something we talked about last week. This is in regards to the high stakes basketball shots thing we talked about,
nice.
Which I think resonated with a lot of people. As someone who is in mental health field, it sounds like you are trying to find some semblance of control over something important that you actually have no control over.
Oh boy.
This is the main idea around OCD, actually. Not saying you have it, but people with OCD have an obsession or with ruminating or of thought or worry that their loved ones will die, for example, and perform rituals to feel like they have control over when their loved ones will die. If I flick this switch 17 times, my dog will live for 10 more years. It sounds like you were worried about divorce. She's talking to me specifically. Something that's important to you, and so you were trying to convince yourself that you can control the outcome by performing a ritual, making a basket or a putt, right? Does that make sense? It might be an interesting point to bring up on the pod. By the way, this is from a girl, Natalie, a girl that I was friends with and growing up.
Oh, nice.
And it's so funny to me that she listens to the pod, and I appreciate you very much, Nan. She went by Nan. So, dude, that sounds spot on to me.
Maybe. Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, maybe it's one of those things that I'm not kind of cognitive of. But, like, to me, it just seems like it makes the game more fun, to be honest. You're sitting there shooting free throws. You can only shoot free throws long enough until you need to add some kind of interesting narrative to the game.
You thought it was more fun to picture your family up against a firing squad as you sat there at the free throw line, knowing that if you miss the free throw, boom, there goes your dad. There goes your mom.
In theory, it raises the stakes. It's like the same way if you're playing a video game and if it's your dad and your mom. It's like my parents are actually sitting there. And of course, once I miss the free throw, the game kind of no longer becomes fun. But if I drain them all, I feel so clutch.
Yeah, but this is the difference between you and me. You were able to disassociate yourself and acknowledge the lack of reality in your stakes. Whereas I 100% believed that if I missed the free throw, I was causing myself to get divorced later in life. I thought it was a causal relationship. I believed in that. And that made me stressed.
Dude, how funny is that? Ellis for 3. They're divorced.
Yeah.
They're divorced.
That's going to cost him. Let's hope he had a prenup.
The Gallerati's are dead. The Gallerati's are dead.
One by one. Anyway,
That's great.
that is good. I appreciate the mental health advice. OCD. I've never really worried about OCD for myself. I don't have what I would consider tics or that, the flicking the light switch, anything that pronounced.
I sometimes think that I do have it as from a control perspective. Like I'm so afraid that my computer is going to crash that I like quadruple back it up in a way that's like ridiculous. I have 2 hard drives and I back it up to the cloud.
That sounds smart to me. You know what my problem is these days? I am so afraid of identity theft.
Interesting.
That if I have any piece of mail come that has my birthday, even my home address, by the way, which is every single piece of mail,
yeah,
I can't recycle it. I have
They
to,
rip
I let
it
it grow into a pile and then I take it upstairs to the roof, put it in a bucket, pour lighter fluid on it, and I burn it. Yeah, I don't have a shredder.
That's a very older man thing
And
to do.
even if I did have a shredder, I'd worry that someone with a lot of time who was really good at puzzles would come and find the
I think
little
about that too.
filaments and splice them together and create a cohesive image.
These all sound relatively like healthy tics that we have potentially. I've had these thoughts.
Dude, there's something where you're like upstairs shivering in your sweatpants watching a bucket of paper burn where you're like, I gotta fucking calm down.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude.
Hey guys, I know that you enjoy listening to us tell these stories, and we also love hearing stories from you whenever you send them via DM or to our Gmail, oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. We love that. That's become an integral part of the podcast. This month, I'm actually judging a story writing contest via a platform called Vocal. It should be a lot of fun because I get to read other people's crazy stories, like the ones we get from you guys. And one lucky winner will win a cash prize as high as $5,000.
It's a lot of jack.
That's exactly right. Vocal is a storytelling platform for creators. I'm judging what's called the No Regrets Challenge, which allows you to share embarrassing situations without judgment, all while giving entrants the chance to win a cash prize as high as $5,000. Simply sharing the best, or I guess worst, forgettable experience, you can walk away with big time money. I'll be reading your entries, all bad decisions, the aftermath, the path to redemption, and everything in between, and judging the winners. Maybe we'll even share some of these on the podcast. In order to be eligible to enter the No Regrets Challenge, you must have a Vocal Plus membership, which grants access to Vocal Plus exclusive challenges, along with increased monetization opportunities, premium creation tools and features, and additional perks on the platform. You can sign up for Vocal at vocal.media and then use the promo code OOPS99 at checkout to get your first month of membership for 99 cents. No Regrets stories must be between 600 and 5,000 words and adhere to Vocal's community guidelines. Only stories published on Vocal and entered into the contest up until April 27th of 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be entered for consideration. So if you're thinking of sending us a great story from your life that's either embarrassing or interesting or shitty, sign up for Vocal Plus, throw it in there because you might as well put yourself in the running for $5,000.
Get it. So we got another good DM, but before we do this, I want to tell you a story
Oh,
about
goody.
moving.
Yeah, Chris
That's
wants
crazy.
this DM rep, but we just keep kicking the can
No,
down
we're
the
gonna
road.
we're gonna read that one.
Yeah.
But so Francis, so
Moving?
you had a great experience moving. I know you
did.
used one of the companies.
Flat rate moving. Love
Flat rate
them.
moving, amazing. So Hillary was moving, and she didn't have that much shit to move. She just had like a couple dressers that we ended up getting rid of anyway. Her TV that we're probably also going to get rid of.
Oh, boy.
Then she just had them break down the bed so she could give it away, whatever. So these movers show up, and dude, the one guy gets there. So mind you, okay, I was like, do you want me to come? And she's like, no. And I think what I learned from this story is that if they're going to be like men you don't know in your girlfriend's apartment, you just got to go. Not to sound like some, like I'm making stereotypes.
No, I think that's a fine thing to say.
So these guys are there, and she starts texting me. She goes, this is insane. I'm like, what's happening? She goes, one of the guys has the stomach flu. He's like, I have a stomach flu. I'm like, why is he in your apartment? She's like, I don't know. I'm trying to send him home. And I was like, send him home. She's like, I feel bad. He's like, I promise I'll go to the hospital after this.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, what? Send him home. She's like, no, I can't. I feel bad. This is unacceptable though. Whatever. This is fucked up. I'm like, yeah, this is fucked up. I'm like, well, what's he doing now? She's like, he's in the bathroom. I had to go buy more toilet paper. This guy's just ripping up her bathroom.
Oh, wait, is he defecating or is he vomiting?
Judging by the toilet paper,
Yeah,
I'm
then
assuming
he's
it is
pooping his
the
brains
former.
out. Yeah, he's leaking.
He's just ripping it to shreds.
Ripping it.
He keeps being so apologetic. She just feels bad. And I think it's really important. If I could have been there, I could have been the bad cop. And I could have been like, dude, honestly, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry about this. Like, this is an unfortunate situation, but you're sick, especially in this day and age. You don't come over somewhere like this
that's
sick.
Unacceptable.
This is completely uncool. The other guy's talking her ear off. He's like, oh, you got to see pictures of my daughter. Like, to the point, hey, look how cute my daughter is. He's like, dude, shut up. Like, this is. So eventually, she's like, no, don't come. I got it. I'm like, okay, fine. They get to the apartment, and the sick guy finally comes in for a second, and he goes, can I just get some water? And we're like, sure. We like give him water. He takes down his mask, and he starts going, and then he just goes, and she's looking at me like, see? And I'm like, okay, fine. Like, thank God this is over. I'm like, dude, goodbye. Like, whatever, it's over. But like, I've never experienced anything like that before in my life, dude. What the fuck was that? What the fuck, dude? Are you serious? Like, what the actual
fuck was that?
It was the craziest thing ever, man. She went there early too, and like I wake up at 8:30 after she'd already been there for an hour, after like a million messages. I'm just like so stressed. What a terrible situation.
Oh man, that's funny. Ari Shaffir does a bit in one of his specials on Netflix where he talks about how kids are not capable of drinking water at the right pace. And he goes, they'll come off the playground totally out of breath and get to the water fountain and be like, and they start coughing and they're like, they're dying from it. And then they take it again because they haven't recovered. And I mean, that's so funny. Yeah, dude, I think that is just a complete breakdown in professionalism.
What the fuck?
Like that, to me, that is, and you wonder when you've hired somebody like a mover or whatever to come work with you, you know, what's the human answer, right? How much humanity, where's the line between like humanity and lack of professionalism?
Totally. Because we feel bad now. Like if we send this guy, he's going to get fired. That's a bad position to put us in.
Yeah, I know you guys, you don't want him to get fired.
Of course not.
But at the same time, that's not something you should have to put up with for a service you're paying for.
Oh, dude, of course not. And a service we're paying well for.
Dude, I don't want people using the toilet, you know, that I've hired.
Like,
not necessarily. Like, I don't mind.
Using it's fine. Destroying it is completely unacceptable.
Needing extra toilet paper, that's where I draw the line.
Dude, absolutely. It was just such a, when they left, we were like shook.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough.
It was a really tough and unfortunate situation.
Well, you won't have that with flat rate moving. And I'm not, they didn't pay us to say this. They helped me with my move. I experienced none of that. These guys would sooner have pooped in a box and then lit it on fire and shipped it off to some foreign land than use our bathroom. That's what I would say. So much more professional flat rate moving than whatever
shit that
bullshit thing you guys were using.
So Chris just handed me his phone, and Chris got a new phone. Congratulations, Chris.
Way to go, Chris.
Chris was doing the old hold the phone to your shoulder while you pee, and it fell in the toilet. And he was forced to get a new phone. But it's amazing how sometimes having your back against the wall in life forces you to make a really nice change. Chris has a beautiful case and this brand new iPhone that's so soothing to hold.
Tangerine.
How exciting.
Peach case. Yeah.
Which is the same color that Chris makes his DMs. Was that intentional, or is this just your favorite color, Chris? Chris says he likes the color.
I stop. Move on. I don't want to talk about my favorite color.
Okay, so here's this DM. This is similar to the Jackson Hole comment someone made a few weeks back on the pod.
Uh-oh.
But can we please talk about how much Francis seems to be playing beer pong? It seems like every social event he gets himself into, he is involved in a game of pong. He must carry the cups and balls with him at all times. Kind of concerning for a 30-something man of moderate success. That's great.
You know,
That is great.
let me
Keep 'em
tell you
coming.
something. Let me tell you something, okay? First of all, beer pong is so fun. It's so fun. I defy anyone listening to go play beer pong with like the right people, low stakes, whatever, you know, and not against someone who's taking it too seriously or who's super good, and tell me you didn't have a good time.
Elbows, bro. Elbows.
Yes, fuck those
Fuck that
people.
shit.
I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking like co-ed game, you know, super fun. It's just a way to drink your beer where you're engaged and active. Like, to me, by the way, I wasn't playing much beer pong from like 27 to 30 or maybe 26 to 30.
Took a break.
Yeah, I wasn't, you know, because you're going to bars and you're on the beach or whatever, all this shit. But in COVID, you know, I started relying on games, board games, and, you know, Zoom games, you know, all of that. And then you come out and you're in these small little group gatherings of 4 people or 6 people. And it's hard. It's not the active sort of energy of a bar where like talking is in and of itself exhausting,
Right.
and engaging enough. Like just having a conversation at a bar keeps you a lot, you know, and you're watching people. It's not that. You need something more. And playing a game of beer pong,
It's great.
when you got 4 people over, 6 people over, and then, you know, who's up next, and you don't have to wait a long time if you lose.
Totally.
That's awesome, man.
It's a good
And
time.
I admit, I do resort to playing beer pong more than maybe I should. But I'm like playing with my girlfriend. I'm not like going to a frat house and trying to relive my glory days.
Dude, also, come on, babe. You got to make this shot. Fuck.
Yeah. That's all right.
Fuck,
That's
babe.
all right. I didn't mean to raise my voice. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, babe. You know
Yeah.
how I get when it comes down when we play against Dave and
Yeah. Yeah. I also happen to have a group of friends who really love it too. And
So
occasionally
fun.
I'll find myself in a place where like I have a friend who just insists on betting on it. And, you know, when you're playing against someone that you think you're better than and you're winning money off them, beer pong becomes like a good way to pay for your restaurant date that week. You know, I don't know what I mean. But
That's
yes,
great.
I do play a lot. Now it's a good call out. I appreciate the holding the mirror up against me for that.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Very good.
Dude, you said something before that reminded me of something when you were talking about the little kids with the water. The other thing I cannot understand, and please help me if it's something that you do understand, but why are little kids obsessed with municipal workers?
It's a great question. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like every kid, if you ask them what they want to be, they say some kind of like they love buses, they love firemen, they
Yeah.
love police officers,
People whose salaries are paid for by tax
by
dollars.
the city.
Yeah.
Like, why is that?
I was obsessed with the garbage men when I was a kid. I would wave to them every morning. I would run to the window when I knew they were coming and make sure I was in position to get my wave. And yeah, firemen. I mean, all of that. To me, honestly, unfortunately, I think it's more of almost when I was a kid, I admired what I thought were like manly professions.
Interesting.
And I admired construction workers.
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, guys in uniform.
Uh-huh.
And sort of envisioned that was like the height of manliness and success, whether I knew it or not, you know. And I've been thinking about this lately because I am not a very manly man. I don't know my way around a power saw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that comfortable with a chainsaw. You know, would you know how to operate? Would you know how to cut down a tree with a chainsaw?
No.
Yeah, dude, that's a serious undertaking.
Now, let's also, you know, kudos to us for not assuming that it's as straightforward as it looks.
Correct.
You know, I'm assuming there's much more to consider, where the tree's going to fall, the technique as to actually
Yeah.
how to get through the tree, etc., how to fucking use the saw to begin with. I mean, you know, the vroom, pulling the thing,
Yeah.
but let's assume that it's more complicated than that.
It is. I would have a general sense, but the point is that I'm
Yes.
sure, however I
I've
were
never
to
done
cut
it.
it down with a chainsaw, I would be violating all kinds of safety protocols.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I do admire people who know what they're doing. I mean, you know, you walk past a construction site, you know, Dumbo's been under construction for months now, and I see these guys with their hard hats. You know, they take their mask off to eat their sandwich at lunch. They always eat, that's their lunch, is a sandwich.
You look down at your son, Buster.
Yeah.
Never meet your heroes, pal.
Yeah. These guys aren't eating like a spinach wrap with avocado. They're having a fucking turkey and Swiss with mustard on white bread. That's their lunch. Do you know what I mean? And
Like-
they might even they'll drink a Coke.
Or one of the big Arizona iced teas.
Yeah, a big Arizona iced tea. God forbid, they might even have a beer with lunch.
They might.
I mean, these are coal miners from the 1930s, basically, and they're ripping up the street. They're powering, you know, the power tools, all kinds of tools. I don't even know what they are. And I just think that if I went down with them for a day and filmed it, it would be hysterical. How the gulf of knowledge between what they have and what I have, of like their understanding of what's going on and mine.
Totally.
Of manly stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I mean, listen, it's obviously like it's a good job. You know what I mean? Like these guys get paid well. It seems hard. It seems difficult. I can't imagine doing something like that where you like come home like with, you know, oil residue and like you're exhausted from the physical labor that you've done. Like that seems like something that is like an incredible thing to be doing.
Yeah, but that's wonder. There's wonder in that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Of sleeping like a bear in a coma every night.
Right. You're like a fucking man.
Of needing to get to bed because tomorrow, once again, the world is going to put its weight on your back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to strap into your boots and basically work out for your job
right
for 9 hours.
Dude, it's interesting. You make a good point about the uniform thing. And maybe that's what it is. Like when you're a little kid, you love superheroes. It's easy to identify.
Yeah, how far off?
Accountants don't have uniforms.
Yeah, the Batman's utility belt versus a construction worker's tool belt.
Exactly.
That's our parallel.
Exactly. It's very well said. It's a tangible sort of superhero in real life.
Yeah.
And, you know, my daddy has a hedge fund. Like that's just like abstract and difficult to
What kid
understand.
knows what that means?
Policeman, good guy, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like policeman, like these are very obvious, kind of clear. It's not that difficult to wrap your head around what it is that these people do. Firemen put out fires,
Right.
Construction guy builds shit. Like as a little kid, maybe it's easier to fucking understand that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Man, as a kid, those were the things
Those
that
are the
I
guys.
wanted to do for sure.
Dude, I have one last thing that I want to mention.
Yeah, please.
And I don't know if this is me being unreasonable with my pet peeves,
Mhm.
but I really don't like in a Walgreens, or Dwayne Reed in New York City is now owned by Walgreens, I think. When there are too many people in line and not enough people working behind the desk,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
they go, I see 3. That is their policy. That's how they tell the other people in the store that another person needs to come help out at the register.
What? I've never heard of this.
They do this poem, I see 3. Next time you're in Walgreens, listen for it. And see if you notice it.
That's them saying we need more people to come help with the checkout?
Yes. My question to Walgreens, why can't you just say people need it in the front? Do they think it's more pleasant for us, or like we're not going to understand what's happening when we say I see 3? Is this not a thing? Like
How much time are you spending in Walgreens?
my whole life, bro. Like anytime I've been in a Walgreens,
I don't know how many times I would need to go to a Walgreens for that, not only to register that was what was happening, but for it also to bother me. Probably 12 or 13 times.
dude, CVS has always been my go-to pharmacy also my whole life. And still, they don't do that there. Somehow still IC3 has resonated, and it's gotten to the point where I want to be like IC4, fucking knuckle sandwich.
Huh. Yeah, let them know. Let them know at Walgreens. I think CVS and Rite Aid have been my spots. I don't like Dwayne Reed. Dwayne Reed doesn't know what it is. It thinks it's half grocery store, half pharmacy. But the food is not quite enough to stock the fridge, and the pharmaceuticals are not quite enough to cure you. Is my thought. I don't know. Holy shit.
I don't know if that resonated with anybody, but IC3, fuck off.
Hey, play some beer pong this weekend.
Yes.
Try it. It's really fun. I highly recommend it. And if you, by the way, you know what else is fun? White Claw Pong is fun. I like White Claw Pong. It's good.
I could go for some claws, dude. I'm drinking some claws tonight.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not the water cup. Let's keep it clean. Fuck that. I want a dirty ping pong ball creating a fucking hair dirt soup in my cup.
Drink that shit.
I want one team to finish and not finish all their beers so that there's backwash in each cup. And then I fill those puppies up and we're all sharing spit. Give it to me secondhand, baby.
I will be drinking White Claws this weekend.
Claws.
Can't wait.
I want to just throw this out there too. Keep an eye out for some sparkling tequilas this summer. There's a specific brand that I like quite a lot coming to market called Cheeto, which I've tried and is delicious.
That's exciting.
Delicious.
That exists already?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go.
It's not in many states, but it's coming out soon.
I'm gonna have to cop.
Cop.
You want to bring us out?
Hell yeah. That's Oops the Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your emails and your messages. Send more to oopsthepodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us. Follow our Instagram @oopsthepodcast. Follow our YouTube, Oops the Podcast. He is not Julio on Instagram. I am @FrancisCC Ellis. And we love you and thank you. Have a great weekend.